Hey folks, we're back here on Summit Sunrise. We were having some technical difficulties, but as I mentioned before, I'm joined by Dr. Karen Wyatt, a local author out of Silverthorne, and you have written this book, What Really Matters, 7 Lessons for Living from the Stories of the Dying. Mm-hmm. Now, you did hospice work, and you said instead of the patients being upset, they had joy towards the end of their life. Can you delve into this for me, because this is an interesting concept?
Yeah, what I found is that many of the patients, for one thing, they were no longer afraid of dying because they knew it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And so they started focusing on what mattered to them, the biggest thing, which is love. So many of them started really concentrating on giving love to their family members and thinking about love. And that made a huge impression on me and made me realize I would like to live my life right now the way they're living their lives in the last few weeks.
So what we can learn, I get it. It's an educational experience with these folks.
Yes.
So love is one of the lessons. And what's something else that you learned from that?
The lesson that follows from love is forgiveness, because when you love people, you end up having to forgive people because we're all
it's
human
inevitable
and flawed. And then the other important lesson I learned was to just live in the present moment as much as possible. Enjoy what's happening right now instead of worrying about the future or mulling over the past all the time.
I see. So it sounds like there's a lot of really good lessons to be learned in this book that we, all of us, could really listen to. Living in the moment, love and forgiveness, those can all be tough lessons to learn, but very essential to living a good life. And what is so cool is that you have, this is amazing. You self-published this book, and now you have re-released and updated the book. That's so incredible, and she's local. Folks, I had no idea this is I just love having local folks here on the show. It's one of my favorite things being here at TV8 is getting to chat with all you amazingly talented local folks.
Thank you.
So you are going to be signing and talking about your book this Saturday at the Next Page in Frisco.
Yes, that's right, from 3 to 5 p.m.
3 to 5 p.m. Okay, so another interesting fact with your book that is so cool, folks, her book has been published in what languages were you saying?
Spanish, Portuguese, and Korean.
Oh my gosh. So that's 4 languages there. And Spanish, Portuguese, and Korean.
And English.
And English. Oh, technically 4. We're going to go with 4. So this message transcends, clearly it knows no language, it transcends, it's human.
Yes, absolutely. It's the most essential factor about us, that we're all mortal and we will all one day face death.
Yes, it is inevitable. It is inevitable. It's like, okay, well, how are you doing today? Oh, well, I could be better, but it's better than the inevitable, right?
Exactly.
So it seems like there's a lot of great lessons here, that you can learn. So what are what would you say are the main things that folks can learn from this? So love, forgiveness,
living in the present moment. And then in addition, I told a lot of stories of patients to help people face their own fears about death and dying, because one of the reasons we don't deal with death well in our society is that we have so much fear, and we tend to avoid talking about it or thinking about it.
Sure.
And by reading these stories that are actually beautiful, it can help people feel calmer and more peaceful about the inevitable.
Right. It's a little bit easier to swallow because it is a scary concept. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when this is going to happen. And so it sounds like What Really Matters, 7 Lessons for Living from the Stories of the Dying, makes it a little bit easier to swallow, and perhaps will give you a newfound lease on life and how to best live your life in your best self.
Exactly. That was my hope, that people would take this book and say, I want to live my life to the fullest right now, every moment that I have. Since I don't know how long I'll be here, I want to enjoy every moment.
Well, I agree with that philosophy. I try to live by that philosophy because life is short, so we might as well have fun while we're here, and it's just a finite amount of time. So where can folks buy this book?
So here in Summit, it's available at Next Page Books. They carry it. It's also on Amazon, and you can go to any other bookseller and ask them to order the book, and they can order
wonderful. So the Next Page Bookstore, for those of you that don't know, it's a wonderful local bookshop located on Main Street in Frisco. They have coffee and tea. They also do wine tastings in the afternoon. It's one of my favorite bookshops to go and just hang out. They have a lot of great local authors such as yourself, and it's a really welcoming environment. Sometimes there are pups there hanging out, so it's a really nice place to be. And you're going to be there this Saturday.
Yes, September 5th from 3 to 5 p.m.
Okay, and there it is on the website. And you folks, you can come chat and meet Dr. Karen Wyatt in the flesh, in person, and you can purchase and have books signed. And it's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, now we all know, and folks, consider that. What really matters? 7 lessons for living from the stories of the dying. So live in the present, and it's about love and forgiveness. But really, you should go buy the book. Go meet Karen on Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Next Page Bookstore on Main Street in Frisco. Pleasure to have you here this morning. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Justine. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Karen. We'll be right back with more Summit Sunrise right after this. Don't go anywhere.